Timestamp July 1st, 2025. It's about 8:45 p.m. I just got up. My dad called before I went to bed, like at 1, 2, somewhere in there. I didn't get to the phone in time. I left a voicemail, and I realized that he's been leaving voicemails somehow without my phone ringing, which is weird. I've got a half dozen voicemails on there about, get me out of here, I'm going crazy, call the police, I've been kidnapped. There was one voicemail that said, why are you doing this to me? That hurt. I know I've explained the situation to him 100 times, but I know he doesn't understand it either. Moved the backyard this morning. Real morning for everybody else. Last night for me, which was, 8 a.m. I did most of it. And Tiny kind of tagged me out of the ring for the last bit. It's a little trickier with the manual mower. It does take that extra oomph when the grass gets high and uncooperative. Yeah. But it works okay. Make it gross. Excuse me for a moment. Like I said, I just got up to my sinuses. Are like, hey, we should all gather here. Make the sinus cavity behind the nose our rally point. Ready, go! The other order of business that I did before I went to bed was I called the septic company, because if you recall, I'd called them. We were getting the stuff set up on Thursday of last week. It's Tuesday evening now. Gave them a down payment and said, great, let's do it. And then we found some fine print, so to speak, on the receipt that said, that we've got to arrange an electrician to come out, because we're going to be setting up a lift station or a lift pump. And I've got to get an electrician to come and take care of that part of it, because it needs power to do it. And I called them back on Thursday and said, no one went over this with me. Is it inclusive? Because if it's inclusive, cool, great. But you seem to be saying in here in the fine print that in the fine print. I turned Irish. You seem to be saying that I'm the one that has to coordinate that, and no one mentioned anything about that at all. So I talked to the guy in the office, and he was like, let me have the sales guy call you, because he should have gone over that. Let me get that. So as of Tuesday, I still haven't gotten a call back. They've had Friday, Monday, and then, an hour or two on Tuesday. Business hours. I didn't expect a call on the weekend. That doesn't happen with contractors, HVAC. No. I know that one. I mean, back when I was doing some of the security installations and stuff like that, there were times that I would call clients on a Saturday, but that was rare. It's just not done. We like our weekends, but no, it's just not done. But, they had me call, they gave me the number for the sales guy that I talked to. We'll call him Troy. And I said, you were kind of supposed to call me. That's what I was told on Thursday. It's Tuesday. I don't know anything about this electrician thing that I've got to get done. I'm annoyed, basically. Nice, I never yell. But I know he knows that he messed up because he used the sales phrase, how can I make this better for you? How can I make this right? When a salesperson says that, they know that they're kind of in a corner, typically. And I said, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know any electricians. We're already talking about, between you and me, it's going to be like 11,000, which that's a painful check to write. I can, but ow. That hurts resources on hand. I said, we're already talking about 11,000, and now there's a hidden electrician fee, kind of, because I've got to arrange that. So I'm starting to get cold feet working with your company. Because, it's not a bait and switch, but it's expensive and then kind of deceptive on top of that. That's not a good cherry for your Sunday. So anyway, what can I do to make this right? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that this second, because you guys, somebody should have gotten back to me 3 business days ago, and then about the situation that I'm cross with. So, but he apparently tried to call me back at like 3:30 or something. I had already ended my broadcast day. Excuse me again. So I don't know. It's 8:30. I'm not gonna get a hold of Shore right now. Try again in the actual morning, since I'm apparently on something between second and third shift. It's kind of what it feels like, which I'm okay with. Might cause some complications for the rest of the world, though. Not sure. The reality of being me. Health check wise, I feel pretty good. So I'm not, despite the sinuses, I'm not like, no heavy breathing, shallow breathing, a little tightness in the chest, but I think it's because I'm annoyed with, I got some stress bumps here with Troy and his company and my dad. And I did try to call my dad back, and it went straight to his voicemail. So it didn't give me the this phone or this number is restricted message that Ron said he had gotten. So that's something. But it also means that my dad is not understanding how to operate his phone, because his phones traditionally outwit him. He just, pretty sure it's the dementia, because my dad 5-10 years ago, he couldn't necessarily do all the features on a smartphone, but 10 years ago, yes, my dad had a flip phone, but he knew how to operate, he didn't really text, but he knew how to operate the camera, and use the phone proficiently as a phone. Now the camera blows his mind. And he can pull up pictures from the gallery, but it takes him 3 or 4 tries to remember how to do it. You get me, right? And I know it's the dementia breaking him. Sucks. Really sucks. And 8 months ago, I had a talk with my mom. I guess there's a group in like Virginia or New Hampshire that's doing some Alzheimer's research, and they're making really good progress on some ideas of some possibilities of some concepts. I don't know what she heard and whatnot, but she said something to me about, I think they're about to find a cure. And I told her it sounded great, but because we're talking about the brain and brain tissue and all that, I said, it'd be great if they did find a cure, but that they can't fix on Dad what's already broken, right? You know what I mean? Even if they could fix the brain, like stop the damage or whatnot, they can't rebuild the brain where the stuff is broken or gone. And she said, yeah, I know. I'm like, man, I hope they do find a cure, but considering how long trials take and all that, it's going to be too late for Dad. And we cried together for a couple minutes. Because we both knew that I was right. I hate being right all the time, Just being right about the good stuff, and there's being right about the bad stuff. Speaking of the bad stuff, looks like they did pass that bill. Yeah, that sounded like right there. The human has been neutralized. The humans are about to be neutralized here in the U.S. That's right. If you're voting red and you're not a billionaire, you're voting against your interest in about every category possible. This bill's got a lot of stuff in it that it's just anti-people. You'll figure that out. If you don't already know it, you'll figure it out. If you're not a billionaire, what are you doing? Even if you are a billionaire, it's going to help your wallet, but doesn't really say much about you as a human being. I know where your alignment is. I was talking about old school D&D alignments with my kid earlier. I'm neutral good with like chaotic leanings. In case anybody's like, I wonder what alignment he is. Like in real life, that's pretty much where I am. When I was a kid, I was lawful good. And that needle has slowly moved over the years as I've realized that the systems and the people that I believed in and held in high regard weren't always being honest. And I started realizing more and more that sometimes the system was purposefully not written to be fair. It was written to be unfair. It was stacked. But it took me a little while to figure that out. So we kind of went from lawful to neutral. Now I'm kind of in between neutral and chaotic. Because I do think that some rules need to be smashed against the rocks. Quite a few. Some need to be rethought. Some just need a tweaking. Some are perfect. But a lot of them aren't. This one's got a lot of those. A lot of them aren't. Things built into them. It's gonna hurt people. It's gonna hurt people. And that was a really up moment there, wasn't it? You're welcome. That was my timer setting. Not too bad. Let's see what else. Did some more stuff around the house. You know, we're getting there. You know, we're kind of clearing the garage. Packing stuff for garage sales. We're not really gonna have to spray in the garage for the bed bugs and whatnot, but it's giving us some place that we can store things and retreat. Basically, we can put stuff from other places in there once we get the debris-filled room dealt with. So we have a plan. It actually is all part of the mission, but it's gonna take a minute. Could take weeks. We did get that first cabinet in position on the lanai. Now we gotta make it sure the other one such a mess out there. May try and mow the front lawn today. I'm curious what the septic company's going to say too, though. Got so many things going on again. But I'm not as freaked out as I was before. Still trying to quit smoking. I did probably 2.5 cigars yesterday. Which, obviously I needed 0, but at least it wasn't 6. Make some coffee here in a minute. I got the remnants of the pot. I'm guessing probably everybody does this. You still got that little bit in the pot when you get up in the morning. You turn it on to heat that up. That's why this should be the chocolate peanut butter. I just ran water through it. Put the coffee in the mug, ran water through it. I always do a water filter before I make it a fresh pot. So I'm going to make a fresh pot of something. I don't know yet. It's hard to believe that Ollie sticker is actually hung on. I do wash my things. These things are resilient. Anyway. So this is the mower that I used. Oh, whether I've shown this before. $350, right? That was actually, I think, created in the last like 10 years or whatnot, but it's, a retro manual mower. Works pretty well. But yeah, on the tall stuff, or those really like tight clumps of grass, weed, whatnot, we have arguments. But it gets the job done, mostly. And I can do that without gas or an electrical cord. That's pretty cool. Very green. I need to take that shower now, though. And Troy needs to try and make me happy. Because I'm really not happy about the situation there. Not happy. Ask me why. Anyway, I'm going to call it there. There are still way too many voices in my head. Make it a great day.